But I wasn't expecting to utter the words "that is a clonker" on this site, but that is a clonker. In fact, there's two of them, and they are southern marsh orchid, but a very, very nice pale form. Yeah, I do like that, especially that one. I think as broad-leaved helleborines go, this probably is a clonker. To me, that is just perfect for a broad-leaved helleborine. All the colours are right. Pure white common spotted orchid, number 3. Best of the bunch. Another very nice white short fragrant orchid. Good to see. And there's another one next door. There's no doubt about it, that is a marsh fragrant orchid, and a big one. Very nice. Large and very, very white early purple orchid. Very, very nice. Don't see many of these. Very nice plant indeed. That is a group of absolute clonkers. Heath spotted orchids at their very best. Must be about 4 or 5 flower heads there, all identical. Stunning plants. The colours on these northern marsh orchids are absolutely fantastic. They really do stand out, and there are hundreds of them in this field. That's a real clonker of a southern marsh orchid. Sort of beautiful tone within it. I mean, just looking at the markings seem to spread far and wide. You'd almost say it has got a bit of a something going on with it, but I think it's a pure southern marsh orchid, and a very, very nice one. Lovely colour. That's a nice clonker of a hybrid. Very nice. Man orchid. A sort of soft, buttery, single tone yellow. This is probably the closest I've seen so far. Good to see them back again. I was a bit worried 10 days ago that I couldn't find any. They really have moved on rapidly and have burst forth, as they say. That is a wasp orchid, or a bee orchid, variety Trollii, more commonly known as a wasp orchid. And I was here the first year they were discovered here. There was a single plant, first one in the county. I think it was 2016. And they have just expanded. There is a huge collection of them here now. I say huge, I think there's about a dozen here, or getting on for a dozen, which is pretty amazing for a wasp orchid, which is a rare one. A wonderful lesser butterfly orchid. There's quite a few around here, but this one is actually in flower. That's a real bonus. Superb. Well, he is. That's the Mary's Meadows frog orchid. Always hard to make sense of them. It is actually open at the top and opening at the bottom. People say, why is it called a frog orchid? Yeah, I won't answer that one. It kind of looks like a frog once it starts opening up. But it's great to see it again. A Samphire Hoe early spider orchid. And there's not many, and these are very, very difficult to find. I think that's a white common spotted. I'm going to have a closer look when I get home. It's got a bit of a marsh orchid shape to it, but I'll say it's a white common spotted for now. Very faint and very small spots on the leaves. Tells me there's Heath spotted orchid in there. But another of these has definitely got southern marsh in it as well. Another hybrid, pretty sure. Some interesting markings on that bee orchid. Might have to look that one up when I get home. There are a few different variations of bee orchids apart from wasp. I'm not saying this is one, but if it is, I'll let you know on the bottom of the screen. Well, I wanted to see a near full flowered marsh fragrant orchid. I reckon this is probably as good as I'm going to see. Pretty good. A dark red helleborine, about 8 inches tall, but who cares? It is in full flower. First one I've ever seen. Very nice. Just have to pop back to this one before I leave. Orchid of the day. Dactylorhiza cross Kernerorum. Kernerorum. I'm going to spell this on the bottom of the page, and then you can try and pronounce it. Dactylorhiza cross Kernerorum. Common spotted cross, early marsh orchid. Lovely, lovely flower. Crazy, weird, stunning, ugly, beautiful. I never know quite what to make of these. It's a pretty astonishing clump of what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 stalks. Certainly the biggest violet helleborine I've ever seen, with wasps as well. Probably just starting to go over, but yeah, it's a cracking sight. Another one of these strangely coloured southern marsh orchids with a strange coloured flower. Makes it look more like common spotted, but there's no spots on the leaves. Could still be a hybrid. Very nicely coloured though. I've seen about 5 or 6 now, all in bud. I suspect this is going to be the best one of the bunch. Well, that was the plant I came here to see, or the orchid that I came here to see. Try and get this one right. It's Dactylorhiza incarnata ochroluca, and there aren't many of these around. It's supposed to be a creamy coloured white. It's a bit difficult to see in this sunshine, but it's very, very rare. Only grows in a few sites, mainly in this area in Suffolk. First time I've ever seen one. That is unusual. I'm going to have to, well, I was just saying I was going to have a look at this when I get home, but I think the bottom flowers give away the fact that it is just a common spotted orchid. It's almost got a two-tone effect to it. That's very, very unusual. Very nice as well. Another slightly unusual one, that's distinctly early marsh orchid flower shape. I think there's some common spotted in that one as well. The colour palette is wrong really for early marsh orchid. So I think I'll probably chalk that one up as another hybrid. And a nice one too. That is an absolute clonker. Full on clonker, that one. I'm struggling to believe what I'm seeing at the moment. This is a fourth rhodochilla, literally in the last 10 minutes. And this is even better than the last one. Very, very, very nice. There you have it. It's damn hard to get to these. That's a very, very, very rare late spider orchid. A little bit like the early spider orchid, but as you can see, a more sort of bulbous, fat bee orchid shape. Stunning plant. There are not many of these. I keep looking at this one. It doesn't look like the sort of hybrid that I was expecting to find. I don't know. There are elements of that that are typical chalk fragrant orchid. I'm going to capture this one and see what others think, but this could be a hybrid. I thought I'd drop back in on this absolute gem before leaving. I was kind of spooked up in the dunes there that I'd actually called this as something it wasn't. I've just had a closer look at the flowers. You cannot see any patterning, so if this was a common spotted, it would be a rhodochilla. But obviously it's not common spotted. It's a northern marsh orchid. No spots on the leaves. Flower shape's right. And yeah, I don't know what it's called. I've called it rhodochilla. It's probably got another name. If so, it'll be at the bottom of the screen as it was with the previous shot. But yeah, what a fantastic orchid that is. Absolutely brilliant. That is an absolute clonker. Absolute clonker. Half pink, half white. Lovely. Well, there's one of the two. That is an exceptionally rare orchid. It's a frog orchid crossed with a common spotted. Fantastic. What a beautiful orchid. And I'll never see one of these again. It's a definite once in a lifetime find, and I'm indebted to Chris we got there in the end.